Hi, my name is Ashley, and today we will be going over what is Instadocs, some of the key features, the available modules, and a product demonstration. So what is Instadocs? Instadocs was designed to be a very simple way to store, view, access, and share your documents within Sage 100. There are many document management solutions on the market. Some of these solutions are complex and expensive. For the most part, these solutions are integrations into Sage 100 in that the document management solution is installed separately and then the product integrates with Sage 100 via buttons that are added to the screens. Instadocs is different than these solutions because it's the first and only solution created by a Sage 100 developer. The document management capabilities are actually embedded into the Sage 100 panels, which then provide easy access to documents related to Sage 100 records such as customers, vendors, items, invoices, sales orders, and checks. There are 6 key features in DSD's Instadocs. The first one, when we designed this product, the most important feature we wanted was ease of access. So we added a new panel to various maintenance, data entry, and inquiry programs that display the documents for a given record, such as customers, vendors, and items. For this new panel, you can view, open, share, and even search for documents, which then leads us to the second key feature, which is document tagging, is a way to tag documents with specific phrases or keywords that you can then search on later. For example, you can tag your document with the key phrase needs management approval, which then leading us to the third key feature is the master search. So once you have tagged documents, you can then search on those tags. So you could search for all documents for the key phrase needs management approval, and then be able to access and review those documents. The fourth key feature is Paperless Office. In standard Sage 100, Sage has allowed users to print reports, journals, registers, and forms into PDF format. With Instadocs, we've taken that feature one step further. We've enhanced form printing programs such as check printing, order printing, and invoice printing so that after you print the forms, you will be able to save those documents into the appropriate vendor or customer directories. The fifth key feature is we've also built in security for Instadocs. For each role within Sage 100, you can select which roles can see the documents, access the documents, print the documents, and tag the documents. And finally, the sixth key feature, we wanted Instadocs to allow for cloud storage of documents. We chose OneDrive as the cloud product to integrate with Instadocs, and I will be showing you this in the demo on how we can integrate with OneDrive. The available modules that Instadocs has: accounts payable, accounts receivable, inventory management, purchase order, sales order, general ledger, RMA, and job costs. Please note that the last 3 are newer. And then lastly, we will be jumping into a product demonstration. Let's go ahead and jump into customer maintenance here. It is good to note from the beginning of this demonstration that customer maintenance and vendor maintenance and AR and AP do mirror each other with the Instadocs features, as well as sales order and purchase order. And so now you can see that we've got our normal vendor maintenance screen. The only thing with Instadocs installed is notice this new tab 9 of Instadocs. The first thing you'll notice is the document directory. This is set up via the setup options, and we'll be reviewing this later, but note that the file path will be chosen by you, and then the naming convention of each folder was an option within the setup. We then move down and you can see different views. You've got your standard Windows Explorer views, and so you've got your details, you've got icons, and then you've got your tiles that you can select for different views. You then have your document. Note that this customer already has a document in here that I have added. If we do double click on this document, it does go ahead and open up for us right within Sage 100. This document, as we noted in our key features, can also have a tag related to it. So if you note that this magic wand over here, go ahead and click on it. This one doesn't have a tag, so let's go ahead and select one. Let's put management approval. You can also add a comment at that time if needed, the user created, and the date and time created. You also note that it will give you the source, and this document was added within customer maintenance. When we go through the rest of this demonstration, you notice that that will change depending on what area of Sage we're in. So say we're in a sales order, the source would be in the sales order. Let's go down here. This, you have your standard Sage 100 search. And so if we go ahead and click on this, this will take us to the Instadocs search, which is one of our other key features. If we go ahead and pick the Needs Management Approval and search, you are going to find the PowerPoint that we just set as the Management Approval tag. Note that you do have the ability to also search on the source. So if we click AR Invoice and hit search, it's not going to display because, again, that source was within the customer maintenance. So if we choose customer maintenance and search again, we will see that document. Again, from this screen, you can go ahead and open and view that PowerPoint. Again, this button will open the file, your folder. And this will open the folder location. So now we've reviewed, this Instadocs search screen also can be found on the Utilities menu. And lastly, this will refresh. This comes in handy if you are moving documents from your OneDrive or adding within your File Explorer. This will refresh your window within Sage 100. So now let's go ahead and show the drag and drop feature. So I'm going to go ahead and just open our manuals here that we use. And you can note that we can grab multiple at a time, and it's just a simple drag and drop into the customer maintenance screen. So now these are all added. We can, again, let's show this feature. If I select multiple, I can also tag multiple documents at a time. So if I put approved to all of these documents I selected and hit accept, if I open them one at a time, you'll know that they will have all been tagged with approved. One other thing to note about the tags is we do have these templates, but we do have the ability to type in our own. Again, any type of document can be dragged and dropped within here and then opened. So if I go and click on this PDF, it is going to go ahead and open for me. Also note that if we go ahead and delete, it will be deleted from the File Explorer path. I'll show that a little bit later, especially with our OneDrive integration as well. Let's go ahead and then we've covered the customer maintenance screen. Let's go ahead and now jump to the setup so you can see some of the setup options that you do have the ability to choose. Again, it's under your standard Sage 100 setup menu. I will point out that under your utilities, that's where the Instadocs Super Search lies. So you'll notice under the Instadocs setup, you have a main tab and then you have a second tab of tags. We'll review that as well. So right off the bat, you have the option to turn on security or not. If you do turn this on, you will want to go and review your role security by user. Then again, we have our default path. So right now I have mine set up to my documents. I have an Instadocs folder. But note right down here, there's a naming convention for the customer directory. So I have it just making the directory by the customer number. You could have it be the customer name, or you could have it be the customer number underscore the customer name. Let's go ahead and drill to that file path so you guys can see that layout. And so note, these are all of the folders of the customers. You then have the ability, one of the key features was the added paperless. So if we go ahead and turn this on, and then the naming convention for the document, I've chosen the customer number and the invoice number. Totally up to you. You've got the invoice number. You can just do the invoice number and the customer number. You have all these options here as well. You can also, same thing for the statement printing. You can turn that on and choose your naming convention. You then have default setup, so you can choose what your default of your views will be within the Instadocs panel. You can enable the invoice entry document tab, and you can also enable the cash receipts entry document tab. I'll show you where these are on the screens later. And then the second tab, we're going to be enable tagging of documents, which you saw that feature was turned on when we were in customer maintenance because we were able to tag documents. And so with that turned on, you can then tag them. Again, we've got our templates here. You can go ahead and add as many unlimited templates as you want. And you can also tag the documents with unlimited tags. And again, as we showed earlier, if there is not a template set up, you do have the ability to create one on the fly. Let's go ahead and jump into AP. Let's just create an invoice. Note, during our setup, we had the option to turn on Instadocs within data entry. So this is what we were talking about. This Instadocs tab will show if you have the in data entry enabled. This is a good time to note that I do have my vendor set up for my OneDrive, so we can review that here in a moment. Here, we do have the ability, right now it says this directory is invalid. It's simply because this directory hasn't been created. This vendor has no documents in the directory yet. So the second I drag and drop, this will go away. And we're going to go ahead and do that now. So I do have a scans folder, maybe mimicking a scenario that you guys would have. So say you are going to scan a document in and you have your scans folder, and then you can just simply come in here and drag and drop. So note that invalid path did go away. And the one thing to point out here again with the tagging is this will automatically tag this document to the invoice number. So even if you didn't name this document, I know when you scan some in, some of your computers will manually just create a name. And that's fine if you don't want to change it, because you can then rely on the tag to tag that document to the correct invoice. And then again, note the source. And it will do the user who created it and the date and time. And this will follow it into the history. And I will show you that here in a moment. So let's go ahead and hit accept. Let's update this. And let's go into the invoice history. Note this is the invoice we just created, and the document followed it. And then again, you can double click. Your invoice is going to open. It's a nice feature, so you can keep all your documents and flow together with your invoice. Let's go ahead and jump into sales order. Go ahead and create a sales order, and we're going to take a look at some of the features. Put some lines in here. So let's go ahead and add a document. So say you have a kit that you guys sell, and you always send along a brochure with that kit that the customer needs. So let's go ahead and attach that brochure here. And you'll note that you have this little checkbox down here that says attach tag documents to email deliveries. So any document within this view, if this box is checked, will be sent out via your paperless. And again, I will show that when I'm going to print this order. So anything that you do drag and drop in here will be sent via email. So let's go ahead and print. So this is going to show up in my email. We'll probably see a little pop-up here the moment it does. And then this last pop-up that you get, it says, do you want to print the sales order in PDF format to Instadocs? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And then you'll note, so if we go back into our order, our 179, and go under our Instadocs tab, that sales order is now linked to our customer. And again, it's going to be automatically tagged with our sales order number and then the source. Again, you can double click, same features you have everywhere else, and then see the order that was sent out. While we're waiting on that email to come through, I'm going to go ahead and just jump into the invoice data entry portion. Pretty similar. I'm going to go 79, the order we just had. Again, you'll see these same documents flow through from the sales order. And so we've got our order that was sent and our brochure that was sent. Again, you do have the ability to attach tag documents to email deliveries. And again, note that anything in this view will be sent along. So this order will get sent and the brochure will get sent again. So most people may choose to only send the attachments at the time of the order, or maybe they're only going to send it at the time of the invoice, up to you. I'm going to go ahead and check it again just so we can have another example. And print this. They'll start coming through in my email here shortly. Again, you're going to get your invoices to PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Again, there, it just came through. We'll open that here in a second. Again, so if we go to our invoice and go to our Instadocs, now our 3 documents are going to show up. We're going to have our order, our invoice, and the brochure we had attached. Again, if we did go ahead and go into our customer, go to our Instadocs tab, we're going to go ahead and see everything related to that customer. But again, you've got our brochure and you've got the invoices and the order that we created within the customer, along with the other documents we had added earlier. Let's go ahead and jump into that email and take a look here. So you got your standard paperless email, but you'll note that that brochure did now flow through with that checkbox checked that we wanted the documents that we had in the Instadocs tab to be sent along with it. So again, you can go ahead and just double click and they've got their brochure that they need with what they had, with the kit that they had ordered. You'll note that the next one that comes through will have the all 3 documents, and we'll open that when that comes through. But let's go ahead and move on to the OneDrive that we had. Let's go into the vendor. And so notice that I've gotten a brochure and an invoice. And I do have my OneDrive open here. So note that the file path here, and we're under the customer airway. So if I go ahead and open that, I do see the brochure and then the invoice I have. And again, you can click on it and it'll open. Let's go ahead and delete one from here. So let's go ahead, if we hit our refresh button, note that it's gone. If we go ahead and add it back, drag our brochure back here. Give it a moment. There it goes. Our brochure popped back up, so they're syncing back and forth. So again, if you have your OneDrive on your at home or anywhere throughout the company, everyone, no matter where you're at, can access it. So if you've got salespeople or something that need to look at documents that maybe they might not have access to Sage 100, but maybe they could see the OneDrive and know the file location, they would have the ability to view those documents. And lastly, that email did come through. So here we go. We've got our invoice came through, our order came through, and the brochure came through. Again, if you had something at the invoice level that you send again, maybe you have warnings along with the kit that they received or anything like that, more can be added as well. Really up to you and how your business operates. And I think that's it. If we have any questions, we can go ahead and ask at this time. Again, like we said, the setup is under the setup, and then you do have that search utilities under your AP and your AR. You do have your sales order set up, and again, same along with your Instadocs. And for the sake of showing you, your PO is the same. So that's just a quick overview and demonstration of our Instadocs. If you have any questions, please ask at this time. Thank you.